Okay, so this video's purpose is to just try to teach you some simple formatting skills in case you're not familiar with all the ins and outs of Microsoft Word. So we're going to be going over how to set up your MLA heading and your header, which are different, how to center something, how to change the font, and also how to indent in terms of a works cited. So there will be sort of two parts. You'll see me pause the video, and then there will be a full paper, and then we will work on the works cited. So let's just get started with how you even start your paper. So first thing you want to do is change your font. Times New Roman, 12-point font. You want to make sure that the alignment is in the left alignment. And then over here there is line and paragraph spacing menu. You want to make sure it's set to 2.0. But if you, for example, are typing in single space font and you have it, then you press enter, it will still put a space in between those two lines. So we don't want that extra space in there. So we want to make sure we remove the space after paragraph. So setting it back to 2.0, and then make sure you remove space after paragraph. So then we're all set up. So now the first thing that goes on your paper is your name. Hit enter one time. And after you type your name, you want to put my name. So it's MS.BELL, or whoever your teacher is for your course. Then you're going to put the course title, and you can either put World History or World History 1 or 2 or whatever the course is. You don't need the class period on it. We know you guys. We know what class period you go in. Then the next important thing that goes on this paper is the date. And the date you're selecting is not the date that you are currently typing the paper, but the date that the paper is due. So for my World History 2 students, that is May 26th, 2015. Now, in MLA format, we always write it day, month, year, and there are no commas. Okay, so that's the heading. Now, the header is different. So you see over here, you want to make sure your rulers are showing. If they're not, you just click this button that says View Rulers. So if your page looks like this, you want to make sure you can see the rulers. So wherever it's dark blue, that's your margin. And you want to make sure it's set to 1-inch margins. So you can click up in the Page Layout tab, Margins, and they should be set to 1-inch margins. If you're using an older version of Word, they might not be, but most of the new versions are. So you just click anywhere up in that margin, and you'll see the cursor is right against the left margin. You want to make that all the way to the right-hand margin, so you click the Right Align button. In MLA format, your header is just your last name. I'm going to use my last name, and then page numbers. So you go up to Design, and you click Page Number, Top of Page, and then Plain Number 3. You can actually do all this automatically. Then you just type your last name and hit space. Then what I do to make sure that it is all Times New Roman font, you highlight that, Times New Roman, 12-point font. And that will automatically go on every single page. So once you've done that, you can put your cursor right next to your date, hit enter one time. Then, for your title, you want to center your text. So for my title, I have used a sample paper about the French Revolution. So you want to type title, French Revolution, whatever it is. You don't have to click title, so if my title is just of the paper is just going to be the French Revolution, you just want to write the title. Hit enter one time. Make sure you're back to being left aligned by clicking up here on your alignment buttons. And then hit tab one time, and that will bring you in 1/2 an inch. This is the 1/2 inch mark on your ruler. So once you bring it in 1/2 inch, then you can start typing your paper. So I've already prepared to type this paper. So you can see blah, 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 blah. I've typed all my things. I've typed my thesis. Then to go to my next paragraph, I hit enter. I hit tab again. And then I start typing my next paragraph. There are no spaces in between paragraphs because I went up, just as a reminder, and I removed space after paragraph. So this should suffice for actually typing the body of your paper. So now we're going to move on to how to do a works cited. Okay, so we can also see right here how to do an in-text citation for MLA format. There is no comma in between the last name of the author and the page number, if any, that you found this on. So normally if you use a book or a PDF of a journal entry or article, there might be a page number. So if there is a page number, make sure you write that down and you include it. And then it's space, parenthesis, no space, last name, space, page number, no space, parenthesis, period, no space. After punctuation, there's always a space. So after every comma, there is a space, but not before any comma. So, and you can also see how my header has automatically updated on each page. So now I am finished with my paper. So I now want to include my works cited, but I want to do this on a separate page. Instead of typing enter, 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 and then if I change anything up here, it gets all messed up. What you can do is press enter one time. Then you go into page layout. So this up here is called your ribbon. You go into the page layout tab, go into breaks, and then go into next page. And that will bring you directly to the top of a brand new page. I did nothing else to that. Then you're going to want to center it. Type works cited. Press enter one time and left align it. Now here's the important part. So I want everybody to pay attention to this part right here. This ruler. See how this top triangle, this means the first line of every paragraph. This bottom triangle means the hanging line. So any line underneath the first line, that will be indented with this bottom triangle. So we want the top line to be totally flush against the margin. So all I just did was click and drag it back to the margin. Then I take my hanging indent tab and I drag it here. Sometimes these come together here and they're a little tricky. You just have to move the top one back. It's a little bit easier to move. So you want to move it in 1/2 inch. And let me show you what it looks like when there's all flush. So here are all my works cited. I have 4 of them, but it's a little hard to see that there are 4 of them. Also notice that they are alphabetically arranged by the author's last name. So all I do is I highlight my text, I take my bottom triangle, and I drag it 1/2 inch. And then where we have second lines in each quote-unquote paragraph, you can see that it moved it in 1/2 inch. And that's what will happen. So then every time you can type the author's last name and his first name, and you type the title, and the source, and then you keep typing blah, 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 blah. More random stuff, and you can see it automatically goes, well, that's if you have a space, automatically goes and hangs underneath that first line. And that's what it should all look like. And then you are done.